Well, it is now 12:16 here in SVG and across the Eastern Caribbean. It's time for WeFM's Midday Newscast, coming to you in association with Courts and Vincent Limited.
99.9, the heart and soul of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. WEFM is SVG.
Bringing you the news 24 hours a day, 7 days per week, with a fresh approach. www.999wefm.com. WeFM News, online, on demand.
Good afternoon and welcome to WeFM's Midday News, brought to you with the kind compliments of Courts and Vincent Limited.
Switch to a ready cash loan today. Bring your loan to us and get 25% off your interest rate. Get flexible payment terms, fast approval, and hassle-free service, so you can do all the important things you need with ease. All you need is your ID, proof of address, payslip, job letter, and 2 references. Visit us in-store or apply online at www.shopcourts.com. Courts Ready Cash. We are ready when you are. Conditions apply.
Welcome back to WeFM's Midday News, brought to you with the kind compliments of Courts and Vincent Limited. I am your presenter, Rajiv Providence. First, on the local scene, construction of a market in Georgetown is set to commence this year. The market is expected to provide a safer and healthier place for persons to ply their trade. Minister of Urban Development, Energy, Seaports, Administration and Development, Grenadines Affairs and Local Government, Rajiv Brown, speaking on WeFM's Issue at Hand program, said that the market will service more than just the North Windward constituency. We hear more from Minister Brown.
A major budget item for Georgetown would be the development of a Georgetown market. This market, although it's located in North Windward, it's expected that it would serve both constituencies and both areas. Persons within these areas are heavily entrenched within the agriculture industry, and this will provide, and the Georgetown market is already an established, or when I say the Georgetown marketplace where people meet to buy and sell goods, it's already an established market. So we are just basically going in to provide a safer, healthier environment for people to ply their trades.
That was the Minister of Urban Development, Rajiv Brown. Minister Brown said that the market will have space for 30 vendors and will include butcher stalls as well as spaces for a manager, cleaning area, and more. Minister Brown said that the Georgetown market will also have space for further expansion. 20 persons this week are participating in a week-long workshop dubbed Managing a Digitization Program for Archives. The workshop will prepare these local workers for the task of digitizing approximately 800 high-priority records that are in poor condition. One of the facilitators of the workshop, a Senior Archives and Records Officer of the National Archives of Trinidad and Tobago, Mrs. Roma Wang Sang, said that digitization is an important process with standards that must be followed. We hear more from Mrs. Wang Sang.
It is an important step that must be done right, and there are standards for doing this. Through digitization, paper-based records and audiovisual, documents, photographs, maps, plans, rare books are converted to digital records, which must be faithful representations of the original records to guarantee its authenticity. Of course, once you go into the digital realm, there are certain standards, there's metadata to go with your records, etc., to ensure you have access afterwards.
That was Senior Archives and Records Officer of the National Archives of Trinidad and Tobago, Mrs. Roma Wang Sang. It is expected that by the end of this training program, 20 persons will be able to provide specialist support when it comes to preserving the records of St. Vincent and the Grenadines and making history more accessible to the public. Still on the local scene, Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves, during his closing address at the G77 South Summit in Kampala, Uganda, while calling for solidarity and warning against division, took the opportunity to speak out against the genocide taking place in Gaza. Prime Minister Gonsalves, during his address, called out complicit nations in North America and Europe for their role in financing and arming the Israeli Defense Force. We hear more from the Prime Minister.
Right before our very eyes, a terrible genocide is unfolding before us. The first genocide, the first televised genocide in human history. And yet, complicit nations in the West, in North America, in Europe, are arming and financing the forces in the Israeli government, which are committing this horrendous act of barbarism. Surely, elemental humanity must demand that there be a ceasefire, and this should stop. Have we reached such a stage in our human condition that collectively we cannot be the conscience of the world and bring an end to this savagery against the Palestinian people?
That was the Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves speaking at the G77 South Summit in Kampala, Uganda. In Kampala, 134 member states reiterated the message of solidarity, unity, and complementarity of the South and spoke with a unified voice to achieve their common goals and objectives. On to news in the region. Monday was the end of an era in Caribbean aviation as Liat 1974 Limited has conducted its final flights. The airline's sole aircraft, an ATR 42-600, left the VC Bird International Airport in Antigua on Monday morning to begin Liat's final sectors across the Eastern Caribbean. In a social media post, the airline commented, "It's a bittersweet day for us. Thank you to all who have supported us till the end of this chapter, and we look to the future with hope for the new one." Stops to Dominica, Grenada, and St. Vincent and the Grenadines were on the cards for Liat 1974's farewell tour. Liat 1974 ceased all operations on January 22nd. In a letter to staff in late December 2023, Cleveland Seaforth, Liat's court-appointed administrator, said all employees would be made redundant effective February 4th, 2024. Guyana has called for global solidarity in the face of new challenges being experienced. Guyanese Prime Minister Mark Phillips addressed the third South Summit of the Group of 77 and China and spoke of the urgency of a collaborative approach to surmount the formidable challenges faced by countries of the global South. He addressed the harsh impacts the COVID-19 pandemic had on both developed and developing countries, noting it would take developing countries several years to recover the growth levels necessary to fulfill the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals by 2030. Phillips called for unity and decisive action, emphasizing the need for common positions to tackle the developmental challenges faced by the global South and stressed the importance of cooperation. On the international scene, the United States Supreme Court has ruled that the cutting of a razor wire fence erected by the state of Texas on the border with Mexico will resume. The fence was installed in an effort to deter migrants and asylum seekers from entering the country. According to Al Jazeera, the 5-4 ruling on Monday was a victory for the administration of U.S. President Joe Biden, issued in the midst of an ongoing legal battle that saw a federal appeals court force agents to stop cutting the fence last month. For more than 2 years, the Republican governor of Texas, Greg Abbott, has sought to bar migrants and asylum seekers from entering the U.S. on spooling razor wire that extends over 46 kilometers of its border with Mexico along the banks of the Rio Grande River and has left people injured and bloodied. Finally, in sports, Novak Djokovic continued his bid for a record-extending 11th Australian Open title with a confident win over American 12th seed Taylor Fritz. The Serb, seeking a 25th Grand Slam to move past Margaret Court's record of 24, won in hot conditions to reach the semifinals. He will play 4th seed Yannick Sinner on Friday after the Italian defeated Russian 5th seed Andrei Rublev. Djokovic has won his past 33 singles matches at Melbourne Park and is a clear favorite to defend his title. This has been WEFM's Midday News. I have been your presenter, Rajiv Providence. Join us again at 3 o'clock for WEFM's 3 p.m. news. WEFM's Midday News has brought to you with the kind compliments of Courts St. Vincent Limited.
Switch to a ready cash loan today. Bring your loan to us and get 25% off your interest rate. Get flexible payment terms, fast approval, and hassle-free service, so you can do all the important things you need with ease. All you need is your ID, proof of address, payslip, job letter, and 2 references. Visit us in-store or apply online at www.shopcourts.com. Courts Ready Cash. We are ready when you are. Conditions apply.
Operating a business these days can get really complicated. What if